I want to bring this reflection on the spiritual bypassing and patheticness. Pathetic, what would we? Um, we may feel our ego hurt when we hear pathetic. Someone is or something is pathetic. And there's a lot of ignorance over what the words really mean. And pathetic, as I have studied and went deeper into what it means, it comes from the Greek, pathos, ethos, pathetics. Pathos, in Spanish we have a word more precise that is padecer, and English has already a tone, but you will get it, that means pathos, suffering. Something is happening to me. Doesn't mean that you suffer it, but yes, you suffer from something. Something is happening to you, pathos. Pathology is understand what's happening to me. So pathos, ethos. Ethos in Greek is habit, the habit that makes me. My ethics is like a habitual way of being. So pathetic means the habit of being victim of reality, of things happening to me. And when we are aware of the real meaning of being pathetic, and we can spot it, we can detect that we are speaking or thinking as victims of reality, we can spot the patheticness in ourselves or others. And recently, in these times, I won't say recently, but in these times where victims are idolized, where, oh, poor what happened to them, and let's idolize people because they just died, and they did something, and because they died or whatever happened, disgrace and tragedy happened to them, they are heroes. No. Just because you suffer from something doesn't make you a hero. Your acts, your standing in your power, your heroicness in your way of being makes you a hero. What you did while you were alive, how you were, and not what happened to you defines you as a hero. Yes, of course, we are all going to go through traumatic and tragedy. Of course, that's life. But not because of being a victim or being the most suffering had makes you a hero. No. That's the mentality to keep us pathetic, and that's not an ascendant way. And talking about ascendant way, I want to talk about something that we were talking with a friend, that it's very in the spiritual community, and we're talking about these dimensions and the fifth dimension, and I realized that there's a lot of patheticness in the spiritual communities, and I'm very into them. I am a very spiritual person, but I have to bring this groundness, because there's a lot of spiritual bypassing, and they think that whatever concept that is 5 dimension, and we are all going to 5 dimension. I know this will hurt your spiritual ego too, but the ascension to the 5th dimension is this concept of utopy and the disruption of duality and unity consciousness. There's a lot of bypassing in that, because, for example, where is 4D? It's like in which moment you know what is 4D, and it's not about denying other dimensions. There's this contradictory, this parable is like, okay, are you in 3D or in 4D or in 5D? But if you are a multidimensional being, you don't have to be reducing yourself to a dimension. I am in the 5D, in the 3D, in the 7th and the 12th at the same time as I tune. So there's a capacity of moving through dimensions, what makes me know where I am fixed and what I believe that it is. and that you have to be and see, okay, this is this dimension and this is the other dimension, and we see patterns of the dimensions. That's exactly 3D. You're still in the mind while you're fixed in a position and trying to label in which dimension you are. So that's, like a mental jerking off where most people are in. And I have to bring it in the groundness because I travel through dimensions, very aware of them. And people talking about fifth dimension, like putting people into a cloud and detaching, alienating persons from their mind, for example, villainizing the mind, villainizing the ego. And that's not healthy. You have to have a healthy personality. You have to have a healthy mind. I bring it because this is what keeps me grounded, lucid, and able to sustain all the other trip and journey through the other dimensions. And being able to understand duality, not by rejecting that's a duality thought, that's division. No, I understand division and that's okay. I understand duality and I can use it. I can go to planes of duality. And that's the invitation I am bringing here, to not bypass thinking just by your craving or your wishful thinking of ascension. That won't happen if you deny other realities, if you don't deny what's happening in the world, what is your reality now, and you're hoping that other beings will save you. No, that's patheticness by definition, that others will save you, that you are a victim that requires to be saved. And that's the plot of the ego, as we have talked in many of the videos here, disguised as a spirituality and elevated thoughts because they are more complex. I needed to say this because I am mediating between these worlds, and we need persons that are grounded and flying high at the same time, have this mobility in the being, and are very resourceful in the mind, in the emotional intelligence, in the energy plane, in the astral, in the spiritual realm. We need an integral development, not choosing what I want, what the ego would like it to be, because you cannot handle this reality, you cannot handle your emotions, your relationships, and you're hoping that the age of whatever, Aquarius or whatever, comes and makes the change for you. No, that won't happen. If you don't integrate all these parts in you, it may happen, but you won't be in it. I have to bring it very raw, because there are many threats. There are threats that are real in many realms. Even in fifth dimension, there are complications that if you do not handle the third and the fourth, whatever complication in fifth dimension can take it. And if you believe that's the solution, arriving to a dimension, you also have to be able to sustain it. Okay, this is a sharing to bring consciousness on this. If you believe this can bring a disruption of the New Age mind and the New Age spiritual ego, please share it, because this is needed. This is needed, the disruption of the New Age thoughts, and to be grounded here, and to not bypass. Spiritual bypassing is something that is hurting lives of many people, many persons. And to start understanding the fourth dimension that we also have to master, and it's crucial. It's like we cannot ignore the power of the astral realm and the lost souls that are in there, the clearing of the energy bodies. It's like you cannot ignore that. We will do a movie sharing and a movie watching and reflection. So if you want, I will share this link of the Telegram, so you join and you get into these conscious movies and reflections. We're working on the fourth dimension and to be able to understand it, and yes, this will be fun. Thanks. Please share with the persons that you believe this will be useful, friends that also are spiritual, or to or too earthy. I think this is a mediating point. Blessings.